What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at another couple of cards from the upcoming War for Cybertron Siege 1 expansion of the Transformers trading card game. It's out on Friday, that's ridiculously soon. And I might say that I am in fact ridiculously excited. And we've got a couple of cards to be having a look at today that play around with white icons. Now, a quick little apology from me. At the moment, because we're going through the last few cards, I am getting all of these images off of the Transformers official Facebook group. And I know some of these were officially revealed, exclusively revealed by other content creators, but it was so long ago I don't know who revealed what. So if anybody did reveal these cards, please do let me know in the comments, and I will make sure that I pin it, or hit me on Twitter at the Wossy or whatever. When I'm talking about them right after the reveal, I will always give huge shout outs to the people who revealed them. But when it's been a little while and I'm getting them off the Facebook group, it's not always possible because I can't always find who revealed them. Please don't hate me. Although weirdly, I do remember that it were the lovely folks over at Vector Sigma who revealed Spinner Rims. That's a long story. So Spinner Rims then, it's a utility and it gives you a white icon. White icons, remember, the first one you flip while attacking or defending lets you flip 2 extra cards. And it reads, when the upgraded character battles and you flip your first white icon, you flip 1 extra battle card. So it's kind of like a pseudo tough one and bold one, just so long as you flipped a white icon. And this is one of the more interesting yet confusing cards to me from Wave 3 from War for Cybertron Siege. Because on the one hand, this seems really good, and on the other hand, I'm not sure we're ever actually going to want to play this. Because you see, I've mentioned in a bunch of videos lately that we've now got a nice little collection of characters. Private Tyraxodon from Wave 3 was what really started me thinking about it, that love white icons and want you to play as many white icons as you can. The problem is, if you're playing that many white icons, then flipping extra cards becomes almost a bit meh. Because you're not that likely to flip any extra orange or any extra blue because you're basically just playing white icons. And I've said that I'm a huge fan, and certainly one I'm going to be playing around with is Private Tyraxodon, with stuff like Autobot Mirage and Autobot Jazz from Wave 1. They sound fun. But the thing is, I want to be going as white as I can with that deck. And flipping extra battle cards, I'll be like, yeah, I've flipped a couple extra white cards. It's not the kind of thing that's going to make me super duper excited here. Okay. So now what we have to do is think, alright, now I'm playing an attacking deck that wants orange icons and a defending deck that wants to play blue icons. And let's face it, we're always going to be playing some white icons. No matter what deck we end up playing, there's going to be some white icons in there. Whole bunch of people out there playing stuff like Force Field, for instance. White icons are going to be there. Rapid Conversion is another one that sees a fair amount of play and does have a white icon. So the fact of the matter is, yes, there's going to be some out there. But are you playing enough? Are you playing enough white icons to make it worth it? I feel like if you're playing enough white icons to make it really reliable that you're going to hit a white, then you're reducing the chances that you're going to actually hit enough orange and blues to really make the most of your strategy. If you can make the numbers out here, so you flip a white in a bunch of battles and then get an extra one, yes, it's going to be great. But then we get to my second reservation about this card, and that is, it's a utility. And the fact of the matter is that there are an awful lot of decks out there that have other utilities they want to play. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're playing Dinobots. I still love me some Dinobots. You're probably going to want to play Jaws of Steel, an upgrade utility that gives you bold 2 and has an orange icon, and generally, not all the time, but generally Wave 1 Dinobots are played as aggressive decks, as orange icon decks. So the fact of the matter is, you're not going to want to play this because you're going to be playing Jaws of Steel instead. We saw some of these Optimus Prime decks that did really well at Origins playing Security Console. When the upgraded character defends, you draw a card and then plan one. And that's probably going to take precedence over playing something like this. If you're playing a Cars deck, you're probably playing Turbo Boosters. Brian from Wreck and Rule made top 4 at Origins with a mostly Cars deck. So of course he played the full 3 copies of Turbo Boosters. And that's kind of my point here. Even if you can work the ratio so that you're most of the time going to hit a white icon, but then when you hit the white icon, the extra card you flip is going to be the one you want, you've still got a whole bunch of other cards you're probably going to want to play instead. I'm not saying Spinner Imps is a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but I am saying that there are very few situations where I look at it and go, yes, I want to play that. Now, I have a lot more hope for W5 Gyro Blaster. It is another upgrade utility, and it's got no battle icon, which generally means card designers think it's going to be really powerful. And when the upgraded character battles, that is attacking or defending, each player cannot flip more than 2 cards during this battle. And it gives you +1 attack. Now this is one that you've really got to build around. You have got to build a deck where you do not care about flipping 2 more cards. You are building a deck where you're not worried about bold, you're not worried about tough. Which means you're not building a hyper-aggressive aggro-orange deck, and you're not building a hyper-defensive super blue deck, and you're not worried about bold and tough. You're just sitting there happy going, you know what? I'm fine with this. I'm cool. Let's just see what we've got. Because each player cannot flip more than 2 battle cards during this battle. It means that if you've got a Dinobot deck there, and they've got Jaws of Steel, and they've got Dino Chomp, and they've got Grimlock, such that they should be looking at bold 10, so they're flipping 10 cards in addition to the usual 2, that is to say they're flipping 12 cards in total. No. They're just flipping 2, and everything else they've done to try and flip extra cards is irrelevant. It means if you've got, to go back to the deck that won in Origins, if you've got a Flame War giving each of your characters tough 1, and you've got an Autobot Hot Rod sitting there with tough 1, such that it should have tough 2 and be flipping 4 cards. No, it's only flipping 2. It means any white icons flipped don't let you flip any extra cards. Something like Metroplex really loves this. By which I mean bold. They love flipping extra cards. They do not love this, because Metroplex needs to get that crazy combination of 2 orange, 2 blue, 2 white icons in order to actually use its ability. They definitely do not want to see this. And the great thing is that against things like Dinobots and Metroplex and anything going really tough, this is an answer. And this will slow them down and give you a huge advantage. In Wave 2, we saw Acid Storm that just turns off bold for your opponent. So we've got other ways to turn off bold and tough, but this does both in one go. If you're playing Acid Storm against a deck that wants to really rely on tough, they're going to go, ha! But even if you're playing Acid Storm against a deck that really relies on bold, they can take it out. Here, look, they might have something like a Vaporize or something like that, and if they do, they do. But they're going to have to find it. They're going to have to draw into it or get it out the scrap pile, or they're going to have to find it. So maybe you can make this work. But the problem is, this also hurts you. So if you're playing a really bold deck or a really tough deck, you're probably not going to want to play this. Now, if you're playing a bit of a mixed deck, where you want to flip the orange and blue, but it's not the end of the world, then this could be a bit better. If you're relying on stuff like Grenade Launcher to boost your attack, rather than flipping orange icons, you're going to be looking all right. But if you want to use this, it's going to have to be in a deck where you are boosting your attack and defense rather than relying on orange and blue icons. But if you're playing a deck like that, this can be huge. Gives you a silver bullet answer to bold and to tough on any of your opponent's characters in one go, just so long as they're battling with the character with it attached. Because the other thing is, if they're really wanting to go bold and this is on one of your characters, they can just attack another one. And you can try and set it up so you've only got tapped characters that have this attached, and then hope your opponent doesn't draw into something like a Vaporize. And this is the point where we start realizing that as good as this card could be, it is not an easy card to use. It is not a straightforward card. It's fun, and it can really help, and it can be a bit of a silver bullet against a bunch of decks, but by the same token, it's got no green icon, etc., so it can be hard to actually find. It hurts you as much as your opponent, so you've got to build your deck in the right way. And if they attack a different character or defend against a different character, although that really is up to you, you should try and plan around that, or they just drop something like a Vaporize to get rid of it, all of a sudden, yeah, it's not actually doing what you wanted it to do. I do have hope for this, but I do concede that it's going to be used in an extremely specific deck. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fun cards, unique cards, ones that do things we didn't really see in the previous waves. And I'd like to know what you think about them. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Transformers and a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.